Hey, so if you're clicking on this video, you want to know why my car here, my 70 Chevelle, got my friend fired. The story starts off with, I'm just at at home, relaxing. My friend hits me up saying, "Hey man, could you take me to an appointment? I'm currently at work right now, but I don't have a car and I, need to be taken to an appointment real quick and then be taken back to work." I said, "Sure, no problem, man. Obviously, you're my friend. I'm going to help you out. That's cool." So I go there, and this is where it starts to get interesting. This particular place that I went to was a Board of Education building for the state, and there wasn't that much parking. But I did finding a parking spot right in the front of the building where I waited on my friend. Now, my friend said that he had to wait for his replacement to get there because there had to be someone there. He worked in security. His name's DJ, by the way. He said it was okay if I use his name, and he's actually also a YouTuber who does video games. He's pretty funny, so I'll link him in the description if you guys want to see some cool video game content. So I'm waiting for somebody to replace him so that we could go to his appointment. Well, as I'm waiting there, I leave my car on, and I don't know, usually I turn my car off to be considerate and not be loud, but I don't know, this time I assumed that he was just going to be quick, like coming out, and then we head out, so I didn't turn my car off, I waited. So I had it on, and as I'm waiting there, this elderly lady comes up to me, which I could tell she wasn't very happy. She had kind of a snarl look on her face, and she tells me to roll down the window. I do, I oblige, and she says, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And I'm like, waiting on a friend. I don't lie. I'm like, I'm waiting on a friend to get off work so I can go take him to an appointment. She's like, "Get off work? It's 8 in the morning." And I was like, "Yeah, that makes sense. That would sound weird." I was like, "Yep, waiting on him to get off work." At this point, she kind of like starts to say, "Well, you need to leave. You can't be here. This is private property." At which point I kind of hesitated because I'm like, I don't know if that's true, considering this is the Board of Education. This should be public property. But I was like, "Okay, ma'am. Well, I'm just gonna wait for him. He'll be out in a second." At which point she starts to walk away, kind of angry, and I was like, "All right, ma'am, have a nice day." Trying to be polite while I also admittedly I was slightly annoyed that she was bothering me over something that's so simple. So she goes and she ends up getting my friend EJ, who's the security guard there, to come get me to leave. And so she tells him, "Hey, he needs to leave. He's scaring everyone." I don't know how. She claimed that I was revving my car up at people. I was not. I truly wasn't. And it's a manual car. I have to rev up the car to move the car, and I think that that's where people may have thought I was revving my car up. I really wasn't. I was pressing the gas to move the car. So I guess essentially, yeah, sure, I was revving my car, but I wasn't doing it to be loud. I was doing it to move the car. So she goes and gets DJ, and he comes out, and I think I do think this is kind of comical at this point. I think it's funny, and he's like, I'm like, "What's going on, man?" And he's like, I don't know, dude. Just I was like, "Well, what do you want me to do?" And he's like, "Well, she wants you to leave." And I was like, "I'm not leaving. We need to go to the appointment." And he was like, "I know, bro, but my friend's not here yet, so I can't leave." And I was like, "Okay." And I was like, he's like, "Well, just turn off the car for me." So I'm like, "Okay, sure, obviously, yeah, I'll turn off the car." So I turn off the car, and I'm just waiting there. And then he goes back, at which point I just so happen to park in front of her office. So he goes back and just kind of waits for his friend just to try to calm the situation down. I'm honestly being very level-headed. I'm talking as if right now as I was talking to her, like really calm. And she opens her window and starts yelling at me like, "Hey, I'm gonna call the police on you if you don't leave here soon. This is private property." More stuff. And I replied, "Ma'am, I'm not doing anything wrong. I don't understand why you're being so hostile with me." At which point she just kind of blew me off and slammed the window on me, which I was like, all right, that's fine. Finally, I think one of his bosses there was like, all right, hey, just go ahead and go to your appointment. And so we leave. On the ride over there, we talk about how ridiculous the situation was, at which point I find out she said some things about me, which I find interesting, and that's why I bring them up. One is that she said I had a mouth on me, and exactly how I said it to you guys is how I said it to her. And if you've watched my channel before, you know I'm a Christian. I don't have a mouth on me. I don't cuss. I'm trying to be very polite to people. And so that's what kind of put me in a sour mood about that. Like, you're obviously lying for reasons I don't know, but that's not who I am. And the second thing is this one's kind of funny. She said that my car is a crack car. And that one I find interesting. I don't know if she's saying like it's just an old piece of crap car, or if she's saying that I was a crackhead dealer or something, and like this is like, I don't know, a drug dealer car. At which point I'd be like, maybe, possibly. Leaning more towards no, because this is a 1970 Chevelle. It's not really, I'd say more like a G-body, 80s G-body is more of a crackhead car. No offense, I love those cars, but just being realistic, 70 Chevelle is not, in my opinion, what I would consider a crackhead car. That being said, it is a menacing looking car. It's all black, and so I could see how she feels that it's not a very positive, inviting car. So my friend tells me those things, and honestly, at this point, I am slightly annoyed at this person. I don't understand the unwarranted way that she reacted towards me. I feel like it was just a little uncalled for, especially with the lies. But oh well. I can move on. Not a big deal, right? People say things that aren't true. It's just how the world is. So I take my friend to appointment, gets what needs to get done, then I take him back to his work. At which point he has informed me once we get there that they actually told him to just go home, take the day off. And at this point I'm a little bummed out. I'm like, oh, okay, this isn't good. Why? And so, in fact, before we got there, I was talking to him. I was like, maybe I should apologize. I should be the one to try and talk to her, trying to be a little bit more reasonable. So this time I parked further away, and we went in there, and I was like, hey, can I try and talk to her? Just want to apologize. At which point they said, no, she's in a meeting or something right now, something of the sort. But he did say that he would mention that I tried to, I guess. So I take DJ home, and then I go home, do my thing, and then he texts me later that they told him that he would no longer be able to work there. And that's really as far as the story goes, but there is a few more things I wanted to talk about and clear up. One is that this person, she did inform me when she first met me that she's a very important person there, and later I found out that she was actually in charge of human resources of that building. She tried to pass off that she was in charge of the whole building. Whether that is what that means, I'm not really sure, but that's fine. The part that bothers me though is the fact that she tried so hard to have control over me, and because she couldn't do that, she decided to take it out on my friend. And that's where this story really strikes home with me, because it's like, why would you take it out on somebody else just because you couldn't affect someone in particular, especially someone where I'm not going to pretend like I'm perfect, but I was very polite to her. So I don't really understand that, and that's what frustrates me. But I guess that's my story. That is how my loud car here got my friend fired.